Good morning. Well, I should say this. Be honest, this is good evening. For those of you who were looking for me yesterday morning, there was some technical difficulties along the line and between me and the studio, and we weren't able to get that one out. But I'm going to get it out to you tonight, catch you up to date. Uh, Probably be in the morning before you talk about it or see it. So I invite you to get a cup of coffee. Uh, it's late for tonight, but in the morning it would be time for it. And to settle in your secure place and to join me a few minutes in the presence of our friend Jesus Christ. So I'm Spiller Milton with Coffee Talk, which comes to you from the Faithful United Methodist Church in Santa Maula and the Methodist Chapel United Methodist Church in Prairieville, which I am privileged to be the pastor of both of them. If you have your cup of coffee and you're settled in your spot now, let us take time for a word of prayer. Lord of all blessings, as we walk about your world, let us know ourselves blessed at every turn. Blessed in the autumn sun and leaves, blessed in the winter wind, blessed in rain and shafts of sunlight, blessed in the moving stars, blessed in the turning of the world beneath our feet, blessed in silence, blessed in sleep, blessed in our children, our parents, and our friends, blessed in conversation and the human voice, blessed in waiting for times like these with the virus to pass away, blessed in music, blessed in singing voices, blessed in the song of birds, blessed in the cry that pierces the heart, blessed in the smile of strangers, blessed in the touch of love, blessed in laughter, blessed in pain, in darkness, in grief, blessed in the desert and the forest, blessed in waiting for your presence in our lives, blessed in waiting, just waiting, for we do it in your presence and your love. Love of all blessings, we bless you and give thanks for your many blessings. Amen. If you join this Bible study of the book of Revelation, thinking you're going to hear an identification of each image and character used in this writing, or an effort to determine the mind of God and portray how we are to, uh, in the end times, or when Christ will return, then you might as well go about your business. Those who have done such have held the floor long enough. Not to mention they failed in their datings as well as in satisfying those who listened for long. Many of the groups and individuals who attempted such have come to say the appeal of the Christian faith is not to be found in end time study, nor is it to be in imagery and figuring out all of that. Rather, the appeal of the Christian faith is to be found in discovering what it means to be a Christian, to follow Christ in his life, and to walk in his footsteps. It's interesting that much of the book of Revelation supposedly is based on the book of Daniel, and that Daniel himself, in writing, makes the comment that many are gone to and fro trying to find great wisdom and knowledge, but to no avail, foolishly. For again, that's not what Christ and God are concerned with us knowing. With that laid aside, I invite you to join in approaching the book as the fifth gospel, the other four being Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The word gospel means good news. Those of you who are afraid of reading the book of Revelation because of the fearful much in the past and say that this study is not for me, I invite you to wait a minute, to come with me and see how to have your heart lifted, your burdens reduced, if not significantly removed, and your eyes enabled to see the loving hand of God, who has been, is now, and always shall be, working for your good and the good of each of us. So to get to there, we need to take a look at the style of writing, of what it is, some method of disguising or hiding the message from those who are not familiar with the imagery. At this time of his writing, the followers of Jesus had to go underground. They had to meet in secret. They were being persecuted, arrested, thrown in prison, fed to the lions, or burned alive. They were in need of reassurance that it was worth what it was costing them to be a follower of Christ. John had a message for them, related among the many groups throughout the Roman Empire. Thus, he chose to use this type of writing. By the use of spectacular imagery, the writer paints a picture of the power and mystery of God. John certainly does that. Mysterious symbols are often used to hide their meaning from all but those for whom it is meant. And John certainly does that, making it safer for those who were to carry the message from place to place. And the message is pessimistic about this world, optimistic about the fact that God is able to do all things and will bring this to an end as he desires for it to be. And he certainly does that. But the Christians of John's time were being persecuted. History acknowledges it. So the Bible acknowledges it. It was not long before Stephen was stoned to death, and that the Christians were driven out of Jerusalem. And then many times over after that. There were two emperors who were known as the persecuting emperors. One was Nero, who demanded that his stature be carried from town to town, and that every man, woman, and child was required to kiss it. If they didn't, they were arrested and jailed, often forced to fight with wild animals for the entertainment of the crowds. In 64 AD, he blamed the Christians for the burning of the city of Rome, although history records they were more likely that he set the fire himself. The second persecuted emperor was Domitian, who followed Nero through the throne of being emperor. He had himself called our Lord and God. It was a crime to be a Christian, and all sorts of slander and accusations were made against the Christians. John wrote and has circulated among the Christians a vision of the reigning Christ in heaven, with a constant eye on the suffering saints and martyrs as a guarantee of certain triumph in heaven and ultimate triumph on earth. Hope is a word John brought to God's people. It is a word God's people need to hear today. So, needless to say, John succeeded in all three of these things in his writings, which has given rise to so many people trying, in my opinion, to make more of them than they deserve. The person or events behind each of the symbols has been debated many times by people far smarter than me. Maybe that's why I don't get into doing it. I, for one, am more concerned about what frightens 21st century Christians than I am on what frightened first century Christians. John gave expression of hope throughout his writing, which we will dwell on in the times to come. In closing this morning, I want to share with you the first expression of hope that comes at the very beginning of his book, chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed is he who reads aloud the words of prophecy, And blessed are those who hear and who keep what is written therein, for the time is near. Amen. Until next week, when we look at the seven churches, may God keep you in His law. Amen.